We're at Devoxx UK and I'm with FC, who's giving a keynote that I can't wait to see in a few hours. So for those of you who don't know FC, I'm just going to start with a question and you can work out what we're talking about.
Okay.
What's the first bank you robbed?
The first bank I robbed was a multinational style bank. They deal in gold bullion, yeah, they were the first ones. They got me to test their security, and I got in and I stole a lot of money.
How much did you steal?
Quite a lot, but I had to give it all back, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So
Well, I suppose this. But sometimes it's nice just knowing you have it.
yeah, you have it for a brief moment. It's like in life, you get a salary and then it all gets taxed. So whereas I had to give it all back, so it's a bit unfair.
How did you take it?
How did I take it? Picked it up. It was just gold bullion. I just had to make sure that I could prove that I got something from it, and they're quite heavy. But yeah, they're kind of cool.
Can you tell me how you got to the gold bullion without giving any building details?
I literally walked in. It was that easy. I just sort of bypassed all their security by walking in. That's how I do it most of the time. So there's a lot of preparation, a lot of scoping out the building, seeing how it works. There's a bit of a funny story on it. It was my first ever bank that I'd ever robbed. And so I was there at 3 in the morning looking at this massive building in central London. Very confused as to how I was going to get through all this security. When I hear someone behind me say, "Excuse me, mate, what are you up to?" And I was just lost in the building. I was just working out how to rob this bank. And I turned around and there were 2 policemen. So it was that was an interesting night where I had to explain my job and what I did.
Did you?
Yeah, they let me go in the end. And so yeah, but they were quite confused. I deal with the police quite a lot. End up interacting with them just because of how things happen. And yeah, all of them are just blown away that there is this job that I do where I go in and I test the security of banks and government buildings, etc.
Do you have to have a piece of paper like this is someone to ring to confirm?
So there's you get a letter of authority to say this person is doing a test on our systems and it's signed by a bunch of people. But that is also part of the test. I will often make a fake one of those with fake telephone numbers of friends and such. So if I do get stopped, I'll hand that to security and see if they just phone the numbers and then believe it. I've never had to use one of those, so I've never really tested it. However, a colleague of mine did get stopped once, and he used his fake letter, and they phoned me, and I said, "Yeah, it's fine. Mike's allowed in. Let him in." And they let them in. So they thought they'd done the right thing, but they hadn't. So
that would have probably been a difficult conversation for them to have had with their bosses afterwards.
Yes, yeah. There has been once where I thought it was going to go wrong. I thought I'd produce the letter, but instead the bank called the police response, which they shouldn't have done. It is way outside of their processes of what they should have done. They got too nervous, called the armed response, and they showed up around the bank and just surrounded the bank. That was interesting.
I can't even imagine what that would be like.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
So part of your job then is social engineering as well.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So it's a fine balance between socially engineering people into either letting you through control systems that they shouldn't, or just bypassing them completely, like hopping over fences, crawling through ditches, through tunnels, down lift shafts, that sort of thing. Typical sort of James Bondish spy stuff, sort of trying to get into a building in any way that you can.
What's the most interesting challenge you've had?
Most interesting challenge was one particular place where it was guarded by ex-Gurkhas. So they're quite tough military people. Yeah. So I ended up kidnapping one of the Gurkhas and driving them off site, and that got a little bit sketchy. So that was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge. But there are yes, we did. Okay. Yeah. So
well, good. Bad for them, but good.
Bad for them, but good for me. But it was quite funny. I ended up going back to the same site several months later to do another type of test, and the security guard remembered me. And he's like, "Oh, this is the guy that kidnapped me," and he was very proud of being kidnapped. It was very odd.
Yeah, I suppose that's something to write home about.
Yeah, exactly. There's not many jobs where you can kidnap people for a living, and everyone's fine with it.
Yeah. So, there must be a most memorable story that you have.
Oh, I have so many. I'm slowly writing a book of all of the stories.
Brilliant.
Of all of these little encounters I have, because every job comes with some crazy little thing that happens. I'm sat in a ditch in the snow with like night vision goggles, like watching a door, or I'm running away from security guards, finding secret passageways, trying to steal a helicopter.
Can you fly a helicopter?
I can't fly a helicopter. It was fine. There wasn't there anyway. It's very, very odd. But yeah, there's hundreds of little stories like that hopefully will make up this book that everyone will find entertaining.
Yeah, I'd love to read that. So a lot of your job is social engineering.
Yeah.
But that's not all you provide. You said it was some more of a holistic experience.
Yeah, exactly. So we provide user training for how to prevent phishing, how to prevent social engineering attacks against your company, how you should behave in the culture in your company, and how you interact and communicate with it, both up and down, from like the technical perspective to the C-suite, and from the C-suite down to like the end users.
Sorry, what's the C-suite?
C-suite is like CISOs, CTOs, CFOs, etc.
Makes sense.
So we provide training. We also do pen testing, so like security testing against networks, against applications, etc. So yeah, we try and do the whole thing from the very, very technical side all the way up to the human behavior side, which my partner.
Gurkhas.
We don't kidnap people that much now.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us